Today, though, we're talking about Canvas.
OpenAI just released the new Canva feature to everyone. So with the 12 days of OpenAI on day 4, it's this feature that they released out to everybody. This new Canva feature, which was only for Pro or Plus users, but now rolled out to any and everybody who has an account with ChatGPT. So this Canva feature is actually pretty cool. I don't really know too much about this. It allows you to help you kind of modify whatever you're trying to do. So instead of it going back and forth with ChatGPT, you can do more than that. You can like kind of edit documents, even edit code within ChatGPT, and allows you to do more detailed things and allows you to separate the prompt and the response from the actual thing that you want out of it. Take a look.
Oh boy, yes. I thought it'd be fun if we could maybe make a story for them, Christmas story, and use Canvas. Try it out.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Okay. So if I go to ChatGPT, you'll notice starting today, there's a new button in the Composer that lets us see all the tools available, one of which is Canvas. So I'm going to click that. And now anything that I type here is going to create a canvas. So let's write that story. Help me write a Christmas story about silly elves for my kids. And I'm going to send that off to ChatGPT, and it's going to get started right away on making a canvas for us. So there's a handful of things that we should explain what's going on here. The most significant thing that's different is you have this side-by-side view, where on the left is the chat, as you're used to it, and on the right is Canvas. And in Canvas, right now, ChatGPT is busy writing the story for us. This is pretty different from what would happen if you wrote this kind of prompt before. ChatGPT is good at doing this sort of creative writing work, but it would write it directly inline in chat, and sometimes it's hard to piece out what's the document and like what's the preamble or the what comes after, or especially if you wanted to make any changes along the way, things tend to get lost. But now you have this side by side.
So this makes it a lot more easily readable so that you can now piece together what you do and what you don't want. But also the plus side of this is it's like a real document editor. It's almost like Word, where you can go in and have the thing you either paste it in or the response you got back from ChatGPT. You can go in and like change the document as it's being changed. You can go into bold you can go in and bold different text and like highlight and make format changes. And so on the side, they also have these features.
But rather than show you that, I thought it'd be interesting to show this button in the bottom corner, which has a handful of commonly used shortcuts that's based on things that we know people do in ChatGPT. Suggest edits, ask ChatGPT for feedback about what we might want to change about this. Adjust the length, might make this longer or shorter. Maybe I want a shorter bedtime story. Reading level will change this to make it more sophisticated language or simpler language in case I wanted to make it easier to read for my younger kids. Add final polish is really helpful, especially when you bring your own content. Check for spelling mistakes, grammar, things like that. And then add emojis. That sounds fun.
Yeah, we love emojis.
All right, well, let's try it.
So as you see there, you can do things like have GPT kind of revise the paper or whatever you wrote there. In their case, it was like a bedtime story. But you can also like adjust the length. So if you want something longer or like something a little bit shorter of length, that you don't want a long bedtime story, you can do something like that. But not only that, you can do it at different reading levels. So let's say you wanted something to submit to school, or you wanted to be edited. You can make it more of a grade level, I guess, if it's high school, college, or whatever you have it there. As well as just like other tools, like kind of like this gimmick one where it says add emojis. But also you could just do things like final polish, which is like basically like, hey, can you make this more grammatically correct? Can you make this seem like more cohesive and stuff like that? As well as you can like prompt the chat and talk to it. Another thing that was pretty cool was the ability for you to add and accept different changes, and for ChatGPT to kind of give you feedback on different work like this.
So in my spare time, I'm a bit of a physics enthusiast, and so I have an essay here that I've been working on titled Santa's Sleigh: Exploring the Role of Dark Energy in Reindeer Propulsion. I'm going to copy this from my from my text editor and paste it into the prompt area in ChatGPT. Because I put in a substantial amount of text, we now have a new button in the upper right that says Open in Canvas. If I click this, the content from the prompt is put into the canvas, and this is the same editable surface that Lee was demonstrating.
So could you like bold that title maybe?
Yeah, so I can go in here and make a change if I wanted to before I send it off to ChatGPT.
But so this hasn't been sent yet. So when you made that bold change, what just happened?
Correct. Yeah, this is all still a draft document.
Yeah.
So until I send a message, I can edit it as much as I want, and ChatGPT hasn't seen it yet.
And it's attached to the composer.
Exactly. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to ask ChatGPT, can you leave some comments on my essay from the perspective of my physics professor?
Nice. Okay. So maybe it's going to give you some like technical tips.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see what it comes back with.
Didn't just like respond to that in chat. It's selected Santa's sleigh and his flying reindeer have long fascinated people, blending mystery and magic. Okay, so it's like picking out sentences that it wants to give you feedback on and then writing the specific feedback per sentence.
Exactly. And
helpful.
each of these comments I can have an apply button. And so clicking apply would allow ChatGPT to go through and apply the edit as it sees fit. And of course I could then reject that edit if I wanted to.
So as you saw in that clip there, this guy wrote, I guess, a Santa Claus thesis paper on like dark matter and energy propulsion with Santa Claus, and he basically prompted ChatGPT to like critique it like a physics professor, which is pretty cool. And guess what? ChatGPT was able to highlight different texts and give you like feedback on what you think it should do. And not only that, on the side, you could either accept those changes and have ChatGPT change what was highlighted, or you can just take that critique and then change it yourself, change it yourself manually, because, well, this is a document editor. Also, even if you accept the changes, you can always revert them later on if you accept the AI changes, which is still pretty cool. But I think the biggest one that it's doing is the code editor. Check this out.
So I've also been helping Santa with some logistics for toy manufacturing, and I've been learning some data science tools in Python. So I have some example code that I've been working on locally. So this is my local IDE, but something's not working and I want some help debugging it. I'm going to copy that and then paste it into ChatGPT. I see the same open in Canvas button. I click that, and now I have a canvas open, but this time it's actually a code editor. So ChatGPT has recognized that this is Python code. I get Python syntax highlighting, and even some basic autocomplete. Can you help me debug this code? What might be going wrong? ChatGPT sees the code, looks like it identifies that plot.label does not exist in matplotlib. It provides an example corrected code. We could trust this and take it back locally, but one of the new features we want to demonstrate today is the ability to actually run your Python code within Canvas. So in the upper right, we have this button titled Run. Let's see if ChatGPT finishes. We'll click Run and see what happens. Click Run, and it looks like right away, actually, we see that label is not defined, so ChatGPT was correct about that. We see the exception, and right away, anything in the console is shown to ChatGPT. So ChatGPT sees this exception, and it actually leaves a comment on it. And it looks like this.
A clip, they're using ChatGPT with Python to create this code and to make this like, and that's like really good to see that like you can actually write Python and go back and forth. This can really help a lot of like junior devs, as well as it can help somebody who's just learning to code or learning different languages to help you out as a helpmate. I think it's only limited to Python at the moment, but I'm pretty sure they're going to roll out different languages and more languages. They said they're using an emulator, but one of the coolest features was that they're able to like still highlight text, and they're able to do things like Git, where it will highlight the changes or the recommendations that ChatGPT would recommend you do. I think this is all pretty cool, and like coming out off of Sora, this is still a pretty big news, but I don't think anybody's going to be as excited as the release of Sora because of how anticipated it was. But we have still way more days of OpenAI to go, so if you want to see more about this, please like and subscribe. Me, your boy Dexter out.